Initializing Ethereum protocol. Establishing link to Cloud Citadel. Welcome, Alita Army. You stand at the threshold of quantum consciousness.
Okay, hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream of April the 17th, 2026, the Great Scrapyard Mythos, Legends, Factions, and Urban Folklore, where we discuss all things to do with the movie Alita Battle Angel, the source manga Gundam, and the greatly desired sequels. I am your host, Creek Indian from Denver, Colorado, and with me right now is Lee, and he's from Fountain, Colorado. So far we've got purely a Coloradan, kind of stream.
Yep.
So how's it going down there, Lee? Did you guys get snow? Because we got snow here.
Yeah, we have about freezing temperatures and heavy snow coming down right now.
Yeah, we do too. It's kind of weird too, because I think yesterday it was like 73 degrees Fahrenheit. And then this morning it was, I don't know, in the upper 50s or something like that. And then all of a sudden, boom, we got this snow. So I see we got Constable Birch out there, which happens to be Angelus, who is now Angeli because I guess Alita Rave and Vladi and I, went to Troublemaker Studios. So
Yeah.
now he's Angeli again. So, that's the way that goes. And we got the bad man out there, it looks like. And we got Spendrick out there as well. So anyway, glad you guys could join us. So anyway, what's going on, Lee, in your neck of the woods?
Well, I had a birthday a few days ago.
Oh, cool.
Went out to a Japanese restaurant.
Oh, cool. Is Sahiro's still open down there?
Sahiro's?
Yeah, in Colorado Springs. It's just off.
Oh, we didn't go to the Springs. Unfortunately, I'm not really familiar with the name of that particular restaurant anyway. We went to a local one here in Fountain that was oh good lord, I can't. Arashi's.
Oh, okay. Because there's a nice little Japanese restaurant, at least it used to be, and I think it's still open it's been 40 years. Things still open, I think, off Academy Drive. I don't know if you know where that is. I think so.
Yes, I have taken Academy. Actually, that's one of the most commonly used routes.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, my brother used to live in that community called Old Farm. I don't know if you know where that is or not, but
I think I've heard of it. I'm not sure if I've been down that way.
Yeah, he used to live east of Academy on Old Farm. I can't remember the name of the road that takes you to that. It's been so long. So anyway, well, it's great here in Denver as well. The fact that it's snowing, I guess. And tomorrow, Colorado has weird weather. Tomorrow, it's supposed to get up to 83 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 30 something degrees Celsius. So snow in one day, and then it's then it's snowing one day and it's hot the next. So it's kind of weird around here, I think, sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess we can move on. I invited a bunch of folks, and I've been pretty busy this week. Got back from Austin, Texas on Monday. But
did you get pictures and stuff down there?
Oh, yeah, I got pictures. That's one of the things I was looking for pre-stream.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I haven't, I'm going to kind of hold off on that because Lottie's going to do that tomorrow on.
Okay. So you're saving it for the tomorrow stream then?
Yeah, that's right. So,
okay.
But we had a great time. Alita Rave and Lottie and I, we went to you know, we went to Austin, Texas, you know, to the, we went to Troublemaker Studios to the investors meeting, and, you know, it was a hoot, man. We had a great time, and got to, you know, Robert Rodriguez actually, you know, was Vangelis. 56 isn't old, right? Creaky. No, it isn't, Vangelis. So anyway, but yeah, we you know, we got to listen to Robert. He has a lot of great insights. And, you know, one of the things that, you know, I think influenced me that I'm going to do that he does is he uses like 3x5 cards. He carries around with him, or not all of them are 3x5, but he carries these cards around with him. And when he has an idea, he just writes
jot it down.
Yeah, you know, and then
okay.
He keeps the cards. And then at some point he goes back and he looks through all the cards, and he can kind of put things together and say, oh, this is a great idea, you know, for whatever he wants to do. So, you know, that's pretty good. Yeah, well, I'm going to hold off on that, Angelus, for now. So anyway, but anyway, yeah, we had a great time, and it was neat. Walking around, you know, the set, because you know, you see all these places on the set where you know Iron City, you know, kind of thing, you know, and of course he uses the same set, you know, to shoot some of his other movies. Like I think he was telling us that he shot all of Sin City in this one little area in his green room, which is amazing to me. So anyway, and it turned out so great, you know, because I really love Robert Rodriguez's movies. They're great, you know. Mm-hmm. But anyway, and you know, in Desperado and some, he uses the set for a lot of that. But anyway, yeah, we walked around the set. They first gave us a tour, you know. There was so many investors there that had to split us up into groups, and each group got to go and tour. But after all the groups toured, Robert got through talking to us. It was kind of neat because it was originally scheduled for 2 hours, and Robert talked to us for 4 hours. So I mean, he was really into it, you know, and he's really, you know, it was just so nice hearing him talk, you know, telling us, you know, giving us ideas and stuff like that, you know. And I took away some ideas that I'm going to start using on my channel, you know. So, and at one point you know, one of the questions I stood up and told him that, you know, who I was, and basically I had, you know, over 300,000 subscribers and everything. And he seemed impressed with that, you know. I'm not the biggest Alita channel, though. I think Alita Battle Angel's Life is closing in on 900,000 subscribers, so that's kind of cool. So anyway, I like that because that helps promote our girl, you know. That's the main thing there. But yeah, we just kind of walked around. Then after the tour, you know, I went up to one of the guys that works, you know, for Robert. And I said, hey, man, is it okay if we just kind of walk around the set? You know, I mean, because everything was over, and Robert had gotten through talking to all of us. And he basically, after we got a couple of photos with him, you know, there was a long line of people that wanted to, you know, talk to him and get photos with him, stuff like that, you know. So I talked to this one guy, and I said, yeah, you know, he said, yeah, you can walk around. He said, just don't interfere with, because they were going to have another event coming up afterwards, you know. He said, don't interfere with the staff because they got to get ready for this event. But yeah, walk around, take pictures and all that stuff, which we did, you know. So, and it was really great. Vladi was like a kid in a candy store. I can tell you that. we practically had to drag him out of there when we were leaving, you know. And, you know, we talked to a lot of the guys there. We had dinner with a bunch of folks, you know, and that's, you know, a lot of them were filmmakers, and there was one guy there named Adam. You know, I asked him, I said, well, are you in the industry, you know? And he said, no, I'm just a fan. I love Robert Rodriguez's movies, you know. Oh, that's cool, you know. He asked me if I was in the industry, and I said, well, not really. I mean, I got a YouTube channel, but I wouldn't say that's in the industry. You know, he said, oh, no, that's in the industry. And I said, no, I know it's not. So anyway, that's the way that went. And we ate at this really nice place called Terry Black's. It's a barbecue place. Now they didn't have much for me because I'm a vegetarian, but that the sides, you know, they had plenty of sides I could eat, you know. So I you know,
coleslaw.
Like, yeah, coleslaw was one of them. You know, beans and stuff like that. You know, I could eat. So we had a real good time. We met up with a bunch of them there, and oh man, after we ate, we probably hung around there and talked for an hour. And then, you know, on the next night, we went to this. The next night, we went to. I can't remember the name of this place, but it was pretty cool. It was a pizza place, and we. I can't remember the name of the place, but the pizza was really good there. You know, and of course, I had a vegetarian pizza, of course. And I did have a couple of beers, but I didn't go overboard like I did when I went to London. You know, I just had 2 beers. So I think Vladi and I had a beer at the hotel, and that was it. You know, because I don't drink really. I mean, when I'm with friends, I might have a beer, but you know, with Vladi and Alita Rave, you know, we all had a beer and had a great time. You know, so. And AKA says YouTube is the industry today, Creaky. Well, okay, I guess so. But
well, you got to consider what's happened recently. Markiplier, a well-known YouTuber who did a lot of game streaming and stuff.
Yeah,
he had that movie he came out with, Iron Lung, that appeared in theaters.
Oh, I guess that's right. Yeah.
And also more recently, there's a channel called Glitch that has an animated series called The Amazing Digital Circus. They've got a feature film coming out here shortly. I think it's out now, in fact.
Cool. Well, I was executive producer on 2 film festivals, films, videos, but that I would say I may be industry adjacent or something, but I'm definitely not I'm like some of these people, How many beers did I have in London? I can't even count.
Enough to notice.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, I had more beers that weekend than I have in the past 15 years because I essentially have stopped drinking. Really. I mean, I'm not a teetotaler, but I just kind of, I'm not. Well, for one thing, drinking a lot of alcohol is not good for competitive powerlifting. It kind of tears down your muscles, if you go overboard with it. So I don't like to drink, and I don't drink except every now and then, like with Alita Rave and Vladi, we did, So anyway, we had fun.
That's good.
And we still got the LA Fires fundraiser going, and Maxie put in $99 in there. You can see Ray Dooley there, and I got $95. They reimbursed me, but I'm not going to just pay the $95. I'm going to go ahead and pay all of what Ray put in. I haven't sent Ray's in yet to Greater Good Charities, but I'm going to put his in here probably tomorrow, and I'm going to give them the whole 99. I'm not going to split hairs, because we want to help these folks out. I know it's nearly $1,800 is not a lot of money, but and every little bit helps. And these folks are still in recovery. They're still struggling there in that Palisades community. So that's pretty awful. But there you see the website. The link is below there on the image. That link, is down in the description. You click on it, takes you to the website. You click on donate now and just donate what you can. We really do want to help these folks out, and every dime of this money goes to the Greater Good Charity, which is a specific charity that we want to help. These folks recover from this awful fire that happened in January of last year, I think it was. And it's the Alita Army loves to help. We've done this over and over for other causes. So if you got the money to spend, and you can kind of let go of, then we would appreciate it. What do you got here, Angelus? Let's see what Angelus says. And when in London to see Rosa. How many beers you mean, Angelus? I don't think I drank any beers. Well, I might have had a beer at that one. Yeah, that one pub. I guess it was down the street from the Harold Pinner Theater. I guess I I did have a beer there, but you know, yeah. Anyway, Angelici trying to get me going here. What's this? Ah. Yeah, Maxie, I sent you a link. If you know, maybe you're busy or something, that's okay. Well, anyway, donate if you can. We'd appreciate it. We also got the Alita sequel petition going on, and we added 5 signatures since last week, so that helps. You know, it's, you know, that's not a lot, you know, but you know, it keeps plodding along, you know, week in and week out. We keep adding to the signatures. People want a sequel, and we're going to get that sequel. I am highly confident of it. You know, and I'm not going to say why I'm highly confident of it. And it doesn't have anything to do with Austin. It's, you know, what we, you know, just kind of what's happened in the past, you know, my contacts, I guess, with Rosa and so forth, you know, I mean, some stuff she told us. So anyway, what's this? Oh yeah, Maxie, I didn't look at Discord after I sent that because I had to get ready for this stream. I didn't have much time to promote the stream this week because I've been real busy. So, and I didn't do any Alita videos this week either, which I feel bad about because I like to do 3 a week if I can, you know, but got super busy. So anyway, we'll resume for next week. Plus this week was tax week, so I had to work on that. So, you know, that's, you know, paying our taxes. As good Americans, you know, we pay our taxes. So anyway, Maxie says, tell him, Lee. Okay, Lee, tell me.
I have to admit, I'm a little lost as to what he might be referring to.
Yeah, well, you never know about these Aussies, you know. So anyway,
the thing is, I'm pretty sure it's something I'm familiar with. I'm just blanking on it for whatever reason. Ah,
okay. Well, there's the link below the image on the screen, which is down in the description. Click on it, takes you to the website. You know, you do have to.
Oh, okay, yeah. He came down with COVID.
Oh, Maxie's got COVID. Holy crap, Maxie. Well, I hope you get well soon, man. I think Maxie's been taking been doing his, I guess, vaccines. So hopefully it won't be too bad, Maxie. So. Oh, it's Maxie says back up in the chat. So yeah, maybe I missed it, you know, back up here. Oh, I see it, Maxie. Yeah, I see it. So anyway, well, get well soon, Maxie.
Yep, hope you get better soon.
Well, Maxie, you're out in the chat. Are you going to be able to host the stream tomorrow? Because if you're not, I can do it. You know, it's no big deal. So anyway, like I say, click on that link in the description. That takes you to your website. You do have to enter your name and email address, but you can specify that to be anonymous. So if you're a little concerned, as you do with the greater good charities or the GoFundMe we got going, you know, you can specify anonymous. And if you're worried about your name and some of your personal information getting out on the internet, then just click on anonymous. Or in the case of the Greater Good Charity, you can put your YouTube, or not YouTube, your internet handle in there if you want, and it's all good, you know. So, but anyway, you know, hopefully this will help get Disney off the dime, you know, to green light the sequel. And Maxie says he is taking antivirals today, and Jelly is hosting this week. Okay, because he is Angeli now, isn't he, Maxie? Because since Vladi and Alita Rave and I went to Austin, now he's Angeli again. Of course, Maxie's Max Jelly, so because they weren't able to go. So anyway, we do have Rosa's Queen Studios bust of Alita. We really want to give this to her. You know, this is not a gift from us. This is more like an award or some kind of prize or something like this. But what it really is an expression of our appreciation and admiration and affection for our queen, you know, because she did a great job on Alita, and she does a great job on everything I've seen her in, you know, which includes 2 plays and 3 or 4 movies that I've seen her in. You know, she does good in everything. Done good. How Southern of me. She does well in every movie that she's in. You know, she's a superb actor, and we are really fortunate that Robert Rodriguez picked her to portray Alita, you know. So the bust there you see is still in that box. And I have not opened that box, and I will not open that box until Rosa says I am ready for it, because she does want it. She told me she wanted it. I had told her the first time I saw her at the Pasadena Playhouse, I told her we had this for her, you know, and she was, you know, kind of surprised, not surprised, but, you know, elated about it, I guess, you know, and, you know, and yeah, she said something like, for me, you know, something like that. And I said, yeah, for you. So, you know, because, you know, we really love our queen. And when I went to see her the second time in Pasadena, she said, yeah, I want the bust, you know, but we didn't work on the details because she, you know, she had to go talk to some of the other cast members, and there was a bunch of people out there wanting autographs, so I didn't get to talk to her as long. You know, I think the first time we went to talk to her, we talked, you know, Charlie Smith and we talked to her for about 10 minutes, I think. And the second time I talked to her between 5 and 10 minutes, something like this. So anyway, and then we went to, you know, I guess when Angelus and Smandrick and Vladi and I went to see her at the Harold Pinter Theater, you know, we gave her some gifts, you know, I mean, nothing inappropriate. I mean, you know, most of it was like small gifts. We did give her a really nice necklace, which she really liked, but those were gifts. This is not a gift. For us, this is, as I said, our expression, or rather our, our expression of our appreciation, admiration, and affection for our queen, you know, so it's more like an award. So. Yep. What is this? Maxie, oh man, that sounds bad. Poor you. I've been there. I was dying for 2 days. What's that?
He was saying his throat feels like it's
yeah. This is what I guess he was talking about. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Maxie, get well, man, because I know that COVID can be pretty bad stuff. You know, I know my strength coach got it, and he said he almost died from it, but you know, that was in the early days before the vaccine was out. You know, so. Anyways, but I do know somebody that I knew about 3 or 4 people that died from it. But I think Maxie's in good shape though, because he's taking those antivirals and he's had his vaccine, so he's going to be okay. I think he'll just feel like crap for maybe a couple of weeks. So anyway, moving on, I suppose. We do have the Alita Gaming Network. Now, I didn't get in there this week because I've been real busy and I was in Austin and stuff like that. I did check it last week, and I think there was like 54 members. So it's not very large, and I think everybody that's a member of the Alita Gaming Network, basically, we kind of like it small like that. We don't really promote this, you know, I mean, except on this stream and on Radio Chaos, you know, we bring it up just like this, you know, but we don't really push it hard, you know, I mean, we don't promote it, you know, with Google ads or anything like that, because I think a lot of the members like to keep it small and intimate like that. But it's really a neat thing to do. If you, you know, if you do live streaming yourself, then certainly you can promote your live stream in the live streams channel there. It says Alita live streams. That doesn't mean just this live stream. Any live stream that the Alita Army does, you know, I mean, that's like Chaos Nova is an example. You know, he does streaming from time to time, and he, you know, he promotes his streams, you know, in there, and Maxie promotes Radio Chaos in there and stuff like that. We do have a fan fiction, you know, kind of channel, and if you write fanfics, you can actually upload your fanfic to the fan fiction channel. I think there's a limit. I think it's like 2,000 characters or something like that, that for your fanfic. So if you got a fanfic that's greater than that, like let's say you got you know, got a fanfic on the Archive of Our Own as an example, then you can post the link in there, and then people can go read that. And Lee and Maxie both have fanfics in there. Their novels are in there. Panini Freak has got her fanfic in there. Channel Does Not Exist has got several fanfics in there, and I've got a fanfic in there. You know, so you know, if you want to see new content on Alita, even if it's not canon, you know, as they would say, it's still a new story, and you can still get enjoyment out of it. It's fun for the members to put that stuff in there, and people read it and stuff like that. It's kind of neat. If you do artwork or you do videos, you can post those in the user creations channel, and you know, kind of promote, you know, whatever you're doing there. if you're doing some content that's not Alita related or maybe very loosely Alita related, you can post that in the off-topic channel. Now, I've seen some political posts in there, but they're not in your face posts. If I see a post in there that's, you know, about a particular politician or something, particularly if it's one I don't like, then, but not just that, you know, I mean, if it's that kind of post, I'm going to delete the hell out of it, you know, because we want to keep Alita away from politics, you know, because you know, it's not, because, you know, the Alita Army is pretty diverse, and, you know, we have a, you know, wide spectrum of political beliefs, and you know, it's if we want to keep Alita away from it because we, you know, just want to be respectful of others, and plus, putting politics into Alita content or anything to do with Alita is kind of, to me, is kind of distasteful, so I don't like to do it, you know. So, you know, I do monitor that. We have 3 voice channels, and those are kind of like, if you're familiar with the services like, let's say, GoToMeeting, or, you know, Microsoft Teams, or let's say Zoom, it's kind of like that. You know, you go into the channel, you can invite other people in the gaming network, and only the people in the gaming network can get into those channels. In other words, for 2 things. Number one, the internet at large cannot get into into those channels. They have to be a member of the Alita Gaming Network. You know, plus those channels are not streamed. So, you know, it doesn't go to YouTube or Instagram or anything like that, you know, for people to look at you on there. And it's not like that at all. You know, it's just you and whoever you want to have in the channel with you. You can just talk. If you want, you can turn your camera on, but you don't have to, you know, and you can share your screen, you know, do various things in there. Like, I know Vladi and Smendrick were actually playing games in the gaming channel, which you can do that in any one of the 3 voice channels. You can play a game, you know, and share your screen, stuff like that, you know, and kind of enjoy that. I know at one point, this has been like 3 or 4 years ago, I watched Angelus play Cyberpunk 2077, you know, and I think it might have been the gaming channel. I'm not sure which. I can't remember. But anyway, I did see him play that. That's when Cyberpunk 2077 had a lot of bugs in it, I guess. But it was a lot of fun, you know, watching that. We also have a watch party channel, and we've certainly, you know, we've watched Alita Battle Angel like 3 times in the watch party channel, and we've watched, you know, some of Rose's stuff. Like, we watched her Star Trek short probably about 3 or 4 times. We watched Chariot, which is a movie she was in. We watched, I guess we watched Chips here about 4 or 5 weeks ago. We also watched, well, more than 4 or 5 weeks ago. That might have been before we went to London. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. And we watched Good Crazy. We watched that as well. We enjoyed that. Matter of fact, we may watch that again because I kind of like that little short film. You know, it's kind of neat. But you know, we watched other stuff in there. Like, at one point, we watched, I guess, Ghost in the Shell, both the live action adaptation with Scarlett Johansson, and 1 episode of the anime we've watched. We watched Rollerball, you know, old James Caan movie, which is really entertaining. We watched that in there too. It's kind of similar to Motorball, so that's why we watched it. But you don't need to wait for me. If you want to do a watch party, if you're a member of the Gaming Network, you should just jump in there and, you know, start a watch party. You don't need to get my permission or anything like that. You just do it, you know, jump in there. Now, I do monitor everything goes on in the gaming network. I mean, this week I haven't been in there, obviously, but I do keep an eye on it just to make sure that nothing inappropriate or untoward gets in there, because we want to, you know, keep this, you know, safe for work, I guess you would say, and, you know, make sure everybody has fun with it. So anyway, there's the link you see below our Chibi Alita mascot there. That's down in the description. You click on it. If you don't have a Discord username, it will prompt you to join. And you don't have to panic. Oh my gosh, I don't want to pay any money. Well, the basic service is absolutely free. You don't have to pay anything. And once you click on it, then you get an invite from the Gaming Network to join our gaming network, it is also absolutely free. We don't charge any money for it. And when you get in there, you know, I guess you'll get a lot of folks sending you these cute little gifts that they, you know, waving hi, welcome awards, stuff like this. You know, a lot of cute little things like that going on. You know, so we have a lot of fun there. And I know that's how I communicate with Lee, I guess, over the internet, is through the gaming network, or just through Discord, rather, because he's not a big social media guy. So
yeah, I tend to stay away from a lot of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, I remember telling Rosa, you know, way back when, that, you know, she's, you know, when she told Charlie and I she wasn't in, I think Charlie asked her if she was on Instagram, and she said, no, I'm you know, I'm not on Instagram because it's too toxic or something like that, you know. And I told her, I said, yeah, I wouldn't be on X or Instagram or any of that stuff unless it, you know, except for I'm on it for the Alita Army, you know. So anyway, that's the way that goes. Yeah, and Shall I Shoot Turkey? Yeah, I have not read. I didn't read chapter 10. You know, I'm going to get Angelus off my back here. I couldn't do it this week because I was so busy, but I'm going to have to get Angelus off my back and read volume 10. So, yeah. What is this? Yeah, well, oh, I see. I promised Smendrick I'd send him my glasses. I got some prescription glasses that he tried on. We were in England, and he thought, wow, these look great, you know. But I haven't gone. I'm not scheduled to go for my eye exam for a couple of weeks, Smendrick. But I promise you, as soon as I get my eyes checked, if they write me a new prescription, then I'll send you my old glasses. So anyway. Okay, that's all I can think of, Lee. Anything you can think of about the prior 3 slides we had there?
Afraid not. I ain't got much myself.
Okay, well, let's move on to it. Now, kind of what I did here was put together a little bit of a conjecture on my part, you know, about what I think these things are. So in other words, what this is like, you know, with any kind of, you know, society or culture or something like this, you get these various legends and folklore and stuff like this about individuals, you know, maybe heroes, maybe villains, and, you know, some things that have happened in the society and stuff like that. So what I decided to do is say, okay, what would it be like in Iron City? You know, I mean, what kind of legends or folklore do they have in Iron City? For example, you see that one person there is riding a motorcycle. I think that was, I rendered these images with, you know, with AI. I think that's intended to be Hugo. And in my opinion, Hugo would probably be considered somewhat of at least a lesser legend, you know, because of jacking cyborgs. He was very successful at it, you know, while he was doing it.
I'm not so sure he would be a legend, except in a very small circle, maybe, because one of the things that allowed him and his crew to get away with it so easily is that they were not well known.
Yeah.
You always want to keep a low profile when you're doing stuff like that, because if people start catching on to, you know, what you do, that might, well, having a high reputation for that kind of thing can actually work against you.
That's true. You know, now he is working for Vector, so I mean, that might give him a little bit of a.
Oh, that would probably give him a lot of pull. If people know that he's in Vector's employ, Vector's a big deal. So the people that he employs must be, you know, quote unquote, high quality people as well in the business, as it were.
Well, Hugo is not really an employee of Vector's. You remember in the movie, Vector wanted him to be part of his team.
Yeah, but he does get contract work from Vector.
Yeah, contract work as well.
And people may not necessarily know the nature of the contract work, but
yeah,
if he's known to be an associate of Vector's and somebody that Vector calls upon to get things done, well, that's going to help his reputation, and it's going to give him a boost in that regard.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's a good example on Hugo. I think that's what he's, as you see there, he's under the factions part. He's actually part of the underworld in a way, isn't he? I mean,
Oh yes, very much part of the underworld.
Yeah, he's not doing anything that's. I mean, I guess it's probably considered illegal, but they don't really enforce it, because he's jacking for the for the motorball players or paladins.
I think some other examples of well-known legends would be the various hunter warriors that got introduced in the movie.
Oh yeah,
as well as Joshugan.
Yeah,
and some of the high-profile motorball players.
Yeah. So anyway, we can just get to these things. Here's some examples that some of this stuff is stuff I come up with. I mean, I'm just trying to think about what kind of thing would come up in like a dystopian society like Iron City, and like this thing that called the Ghost Circuit, which is not real. None of this is canon. This is just Creaky coming up with this crap, just trying to just come up with some possibilities here. But this thing called the Ghost Circuit, in other words, that's kind of like a device or a relay that it was maybe left over from the Great War of the Fall, and it's kind of an device, I guess, that activates when someone is about to die. Now the question would be, how would it know? Sure, but their technology, when the was fighting Earth, was 200 years in advance of ours. So, and they were really good at integrating, human, organic, brain, stuff like that with cybernetics, that they probably had a very, very solid understanding of what consciousness is and how to connect to it and how to do various things that will allow them to, maybe transfer consciousness as an example, or detect it, that kind of thing. And so they might have a device, particularly for people that they, that maybe is important to them, like maybe, some of the soldiers that are leaders, maybe, maybe they had this device that could detect whether or not they were, not just whether they're going to die or not, about to die, but, maybe they're in danger, that kind of thing. And we kind of have like that, a little bit like that now, because I know a lot of folks, older folks, no, not me, Angelus, a lot of older folks will have something like, that first alert or whatever it is they have, and they push the button. If they fall and they can't get up, sometimes I feel like I don't want to get up when I'm doing squats, but, but, they push that button, and then of course, it notifies 911 or whatever the first responder is in your country, as an example, and these folks show up and help. So that's kind of like a low tech version of this, and I think that's what we're talking about there. About maybe something left.
Well, one example that comes to mind for me are the. You ever heard of the numbers stations?
No.
Oh, they are these mysterious shortwave radio stations that are characterized by these broadcasts of formatted numbers. And from what I understand, according to the urban legend or myth or whatever, they generally aren't, nobody knows their location, but there are certain frequencies that you can sort of tune into, and you can hear their broadcasts on set times.
Oh, okay.
They have sort of a high degree of mystique attached to them.
Oh, okay. Let's see what Badman Melchizedek can predict the near future as quantum possibilities collapsed into one likely reality. Yeah, it's still predictive though, isn't it? It's still, I guess you would say, an estimate now, a really good estimate, evidently. Not like what we predict these days, but
there's also the Black Knight satellite, which has some sort of mythical stories around it.
Now this is from other IPs, right, Lee?
No, this is real world stuff.
Oh, I thought you were talking about maybe another movie or another.
No, this is stuff that you can find in the real world. Stories from people who have actually encountered something odd, and it usually gets attributed to one of these various things. And the Black Knight satellite supposedly is some kind of ancient satellite floating around up there that I can't remember what the exact story is. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it, but some of the stories I read were kind of, interesting.
Ah. So they would be kind of like, have the ability in different ways as the ghost circuit, I guess, right?
Kinda. Usually they have something mysterious about them attributed to them. It's basically the big thing about them is the mystique around them. There's like nobody knows their origins or the locations of them or the purpose of them.
Bad man, I don't know about that. Nobody can triangulate the location of a number of radio signals. If those
number stations.
Oh, number stations. Okay, yeah, that's right. Maybe not. Because I don't know what those are, but I know radio signals. That's how the military a lot of times will.
Yeah, most stations are identified, or most identified stations use speech synthesis to vocalize numbers, although digital modes use phase shifting, keying, and frequency shifting, as well as Morse code.
Yeah, they do.
They've been documented since World War I at least, and reached peak activity during the Cold War.
Yeah. Well, they do burst transmitters too, which, in a millisecond they can transmit.
Shortwave signals can propagate over intercontinental distances by reflecting off the ionosphere, allowing a single transmitter to reach locations worldwide. Yeah, now that frequency has got to be, there's a certain frequency. If you go above it, it just goes right out into space. But but yeah, shortwave. You're right. I think it would bounce off the ionosphere, and if they had some kind of directional antenna, then of course it'd be very difficult to triangulate on that. They'd have to somehow be able to detect the residual radiation from the transmitter that's not going through the antenna. And then maybe they could do it that way, but it's pretty tough. I think. But not all of them were completely unidentified. There have been a number that they've located that actually were part of like either foreign or domestic intelligence network. But then you get a number of them where it's like they sometimes will have much stranger transmissions, and they don't get identified. They become sort of a mythical sort of thing.
Okay. So they, in terms of that ghost circuit, I guess the technology of the and of Earth, for that matter, 200 years in the future, according to the IP, Alita Battle Angel, they can probably detect life force. Because if they have the ability to connect to it, maybe they still have the way of detecting it. Would be a way that ghost circuit might work. That they detect the life force from somebody. And if the life force starts waning, then the ghost circuit, activates, and then maybe they can get somebody to the location to save the person or whatever, The Surgeon of Alley 9. Now, I don't know about Alley 9, but that's something I just came up with on the fly. But basically, that's Doc Ito, isn't it?
Basically, without the taking something you didn't agree to aspect.
Yeah, that's right. But the ability would be he can fix anything. Now, in Lee's story, he had a hell of a time hooking Jason up to those cybernetics.
Well, Jason was an anomaly he'd never encountered before, so.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess Jason was from another universe, probably, or maybe the time displacement was rendered his equipment useless on Jason's body or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, there's a number of oddities surrounding him that Ito was pulling his hair out trying to figure out, but he, still managed to fix him up.
He figured he got it eventually. Of course, I think that was partially too Jason was adapting to the environment as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, part of it seemed to be just enough time had passed that some sort of adaptation had taken place.
Yeah.
Or adjustment had occurred.
Yeah, for sure. Now that take something that you don't agree to. Now there's probably some underhanded or cyber docs in Iron City that are not. They're not doing anything legal. You know what I mean? They're they're doing stuff that's illegal. Who knows? Maybe they're hiring people like Hugo to go jack cyborgs to get those parts to treat their patients with. Well, that would be illegal even in Iron City, especially if you jack a cyborg that's working for the factory. Factory's not going to like that. You know, they're going to come after you. You know. So, but anyway, it involves a cyber doc that, you know, like Ito in terms of ability, that they can pretty much handle anything. And these cyber docs as well. Yeah, I know from the manga, Ito of course became a cyber doc, but he was actually a regular doctor, you know, and he just kind of said, well, I'm going to be a cyber doc as well. So he, you know, Ito can kind of do both. He can kind of, you know, help, treat human beings, just pure meat boys and meat girls, you know, he can just treat them, you know, or the cyborgs, he can treat those. You know, he kind of do either one, you know. So he's really versatile. So that gives him that ability, I guess, or at least in some folks' eyes, the ability to fix anything. You know, because he has a wide range of abilities and expertise that allows him to, you know, just kind of do anything he wants like that in terms of fixing people. Now, Ito has a lot of integrity. You know, he's not going to do something that's illegal or even immoral. He's not going to do that either.
Well, he's not necessarily going to hurt anybody, especially his patients either. Yeah,
well, the whole thing is with him, it's almost like, now you don't get the sense that in Iron City that the Hippocratic Oath is still a thing. So maybe it's not. But you get the feeling that Ito is still in principle, you know, kind of complying with the Hippocratic Oath. You know, even though he may not know what it is. So in other words, you know, and with doctors, it's cause no harm, you know.
Well, the movie version of Ito might actually have an idea of the Hippocratic Oath. Because on Zalem, they have that higher degree of education that everybody goes through. So
yeah. But, you know, I do know that, like with Ito, like in your story, Lee, Ito didn't even know what the United States was.
So, well, that was mostly on my end. I kind of figured that old stuff like that, after hundreds of years, it probably just wasn't important to their history anymore.
So they just quit teaching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's this right here?
Hippopotamatic Oath.
Oh, don't do any harm to hippopotamuses, huh?
Harm no hippopotami.
Yeah, that's right. Oh gosh, that's a good one, bad man. I'm not going to get that one out of my head for a while. What's this? He also said, "What's this about Gunnar Marsh's memory? It's a story of the Great Scrapyard that features a plot line involving illegal street doctors." Yes, yeah, they would fall in the area. I don't know if they'd fix everything or anything, but they would fall in that category of surgeon of Alley 9, or it could be surgeon of Alley 6, or surgeon in the Badlands, or whatever it is. It'd be that kind of thing with these folks. And a lot of times those kind of folks, they kind of do what they got to do, or treat people with the best they got, you know, in terms of resources. Because you remember the whole society there in Iron City and the kind of on the earth itself, it's, you know, they went through an apocalyptic, I'm going to mess this up, apocalyptic event, you know. So, you know, in that Great War of the Falls. So they don't have a lot going for them in terms of resources, you know, so they just got to.
According to Badman, hippopotamic oath was what his Ito's mentor called it in Holy Night side story.
Okay.
Which kind of makes sense. I mean, you get stuff sort of twisting around and meanings of words drifting, and the way words are pronounced starts to alter as time goes by.
Yeah, have you ever seen any of those videos on YouTube where they show you, okay, we're going to take you through the whole evolution of English. They go way back in the past, and when, you know, they try to determine at what point in time would you understand English, you know, the modern English speaker.
Yeah, I saw that.
And you go back to like the year 200 BC or something like that. Not that there was any English 200 BC, but maybe around, zero. You know, I know that England, of course, existed. So, you know, and the words just made no sense. You know, I mean, to me,
I think according to one video I saw around the 1600s,
yeah,
I think early to mid 1600s was about the last point at which English was recognizable to me anyway. Beyond going back further than that, and it was just like some of it was recognizable, but it became like too much of a foreign language for me to even be able to follow.
yeah, you could understand a word here and there, maybe. You know, it sounds something like a word, you know, but the meaning might be totally different, but you'd hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Late in the early 16th century, I guess it was, is when I guess English started to sound a little bit like it does now. And of course, you get up to the 17th and 18th century, it gets a bit better. I think 18th century, you know, late 18th century, because you know, I know if you read our Constitution, a lot of that, I mean, you can read it and understand it, but you know, a lot of it you have to kind of really study. You know,
yeah, I think going back to about maybe 350 years or so, I think we can still have a good idea of what's being said.
Yeah, that's right. Which kind of makes you wonder how it's going to be, which is to your point, Lee, on this one. What English or whatever language they're speaking is going to be like 200 to 500 years in the future. You know, I mean, it'll be kind of like what we're looking at when we, you know, we considered language way back 350 years ago, you know. So, yeah.
Constable Bert, yeah, it is Hippocratic. It's just that the guy that was talking, that Badman was referring to, the word apparently had drifted into something else or morphed into something else.
Plus, they probably bastardized the pronunciation and all that.
Yeah, basically.
Over the years, for sure. You know,
so you get the word morphing into something new, even though the original meaning remains the same.
Yeah. Okay, that third bullet right there, Zalem drop. In other words, you know, Zalem, if you remember, we saw this even at the beginning of the movie. They're always dropping trash down. And, you know, a lot of that is tech, you know, I mean, tech that they're not using, or maybe it's inoperative or something like that. And it might be advanced, but maybe it's not working or something like that. And they drop it. And once that tech gets down here, maybe somebody that's smart like Ito gets a hold of it and they can reverse engineer it and get it working again, maybe, you know. And it has a profound impact on their life, you know, how they live in Iron City, you know, because and as you know, Iron City, Zalem anyway, they are helping Iron City to a degree, you know. Now certainly they're taking advantage of them, that's for sure, you know, to get supply from them. But you know, they've given them some tech, you know, and if you've seen those extras and when the DVD was when Alita was on the DVD, I guess. They had those extras, and they talked about how after the Great War, the fall, Zalem, you know, actually helped the people that survived and collected around Iron City. You know, it was kind of like a mutual understanding. You know, hey, if you farm food and do work for us in the factory, or you do work whatever you're doing in Iron City, and you do that to benefit us, we will benefit you with, you know, technology, other forms of support, whatever. And it's kind of like a symbiotic relationship, I guess. But there you had the case where, you know, where the war totally wiped out, you know, pretty much most human beings on the planet, as it did most people on Mars. You know, it wiped them out as well. And of course, you can imagine after something like that, we have chaos in the house.
Oh, hey, chaos.
Hey, chaos. But you can imagine that, you know, after an event like that, a big war, that people are going to be living like they were in the Stone Age or something like that, if that. But Zalem gives them all of this support, you know, all these some of these resources and technology, and it changes their life. And that's what this is. You know, in other words, something that Zalem is doing that is changing the lives of the people in Iron City, even though they're taking advantage of them in a negative way, it still has some benefit for them, you know, to a degree. You know? So anyway,
Well, in the movie verse, I could actually imagine that might be something that Nova does.
yes,
As part of his experimenting by screwing with people's lives, giving them something that changes the trajectory of their life in some significant fashion so he can study what it does to them.
Well, Nova certainly changes the trajectory of a lot of lives that he comes in contact, not necessarily in a positive way.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, in a negative way mostly. But anyway, those are the three things I kind of came up with, you know, in terms of, well, you say legends. Now, a lot of this could be stuff that maybe has limited abilities like you would see, but as people tell stories, maybe they embellish it a little bit. You know, as a matter of fact, I could imagine in the movie verse, well, even in the manga, that Ito would be like a legend. You know, everybody or many people in Iron City know who he is because, for one thing, the jackers won't touch any of the work that he does. You know, because they know it's Doc Ito's work and they're not going to mess with it. You know, that kind of thing. So that there's a legend right there. I mean, he's held in such high regard that nobody wants to mess with work that he's or Jack.
It's a little bit like a story I read some years ago, an article in the news. A car thief stole a car out of somebody's driveway in a neighborhood. I can't remember what city it was in. But the car thief quickly realized whose car it would actually belong to when the story hit the news the next day.
Yeah.
And immediately returned it with an apology saying, "I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it was your car. The car belonged to Mr. Rogers."
Oh, gosh. Yeah. You know, Mr. Rogers was kind of an interesting individual. You know, he was a combat veteran.
Actually, that turns out not to necessarily be the case.
You know, Mr. Rogers was kind of an interesting individual. You know, he was a combat veteran.
Actually, that turns...
Chaos, I think you're echoing us there a little bit.
Dope. Yeah, there was a lot of stories going around that he had been some kind of, you know, highly skilled sniper or something like that. But turns out he was just a really nice guy who wanted to do something to make the world a little bit better.
Yeah. So anyway, can you think of any examples, Lee or Chaos, that might, you know, come into this realm of legends, you know, by some of these people doing this stuff and it comes up, you know?
I can think of an example taken from Area 51, a mysterious building in some of the sublevels that people might be close enough to the surface that people, you know, maybe take a thoroughfare that passes by it.
Yeah.
That's always guarded by a single centurion, but nobody has any idea what's in it or what it's used for.
Yeah.
So you end up with a whole lot of stories that raise up about it, maybe some kind of special factory secret project or something that gets worked on or something.
The mole people, yeah, they'd be scary. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, those guys.
Yeah, they would. You know, Joshagun would certainly be a legend, I think.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a motorball player, of course. It wouldn't be in any one of these three, but
maybe a Iron City variant of the giant alligators in the sewer type thing. You know, monstrous cyborgs that were maybe unleashed experiments or people that were went crazy with the augmentations and then ended up falling out of society, going crazy and heading into the sort of undercity areas.
A lot of times legends, you know, they may be, I guess how would you say, they may be based on true events or true people, but they may, you know, they get embellished like it is an example. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I think I read somewhere where, you know, the war that, you know, Troy, you know, the movie, you know, and the Homer's, the Odyssey, you know, the big war between Greece and Troy. You know, I've read somewhere that there may have been some of the guys, like Achilles as an example, you know, might have been an actual person and then maybe a real good fighter or a commander or something like that. And over time, he got, you know, elevated to the point where he was almost like a demigod, you know, killed by heaven.
Yeah.
arrow shot in his heel or something like that, you know. Whereas if he was a real person, he would have just been maybe like a captain of some guards, or he might have been a really, really superb fighter, you know, or something like that. So, in other words, the legends can be based on facts, but when you get into the details, not everything's factual, you know, that kind of thing.
Get a lot of fantastical stories attached to them or attributed to some aspect of them or something.
Exactly. All right, I think we, unless you can think of anything else, Lee or Chaos, I think we can kind of move on.
Okay.
All right, now some of this stuff, once again, I've just kind of made some of this stuff up, but you know, I was trying to think what would happen in Iron City, and some of the, you know, factions that would be in Iron City, and there'd be a bunch of them. And of course, I put these names on them.
That second one there, that reminds me of the Adeptus Mechanicus from Warhammer 40K.
Ah, okay.
Just kind of hit me like that.
Okay. Okay, the coil rats, scavengers, you know, who believe that the city's wiring has a consciousness of some sort that, you know, they can speak to, or it speaks to them, or whatever.
Or you could go a step further with that, and they may believe that the dead speak through the city circuits.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I think there are people who believe that now.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
For sure, you know. But, you know, these are folks that you might find, a lot of them you might find in the scrapyard, you know, for sure, because they'd be looking for, they're scavengers. So some of them would be looking for, like, you know, parts, you know, maybe they need to fix their truck or something. They go look for a part in the scrapyard, maybe, you know, something like that. So some of these folks would be just regular scavengers and may not believe in any of this supernatural stuff, but others would, you know, they might, you know, maybe it gets started by a person that maybe hears something, you know, they're down in the underworld or they're in the scrapyard and they hear something and they associate it with some fantastical or supernatural thing, and they think, oh my God, I was standing near this device or this whatever it is, and I think it was my dead mother talking to me. Something like that, you know. I think, and then of course word spreads, you know, that kind of thing. Now tell me about these rust priests, Lee. What exactly?
Well, the Warhammer 40K version that this reminded me of is basically they are a faction of tech priests that maintain and study ancient Earth technology over the course of the tens of thousands of years that humanity has been advancing out into the stars. And they are based off of Mars, interestingly enough.
Okay.
And they basically have turned technology into sort of a religion.
Jeez.
Yeah, okay. They believe in these things called machine spirits. But if you look through the old stories that delve into the past of Warhammer 40K, the machine spirits are probably actually a real thing, but they're primitive AIs.
Oh, I was about to say, it sounds a lot like AI to me.
Yes. So they're always, they have these rituals they go through. They use candles, prayer strips, all the various trappings of various religions, all to, you know, maintain or to operate ancient machinery, because they don't want to upset the machine spirits within. And they worship this entity called the Omnissiah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all I can really remember right off the top of my head. I'd have to look up the site to give you a more detailed rundown on them.
That'd be kind of like me in my early career, you know, operating the IBM 360. That's an old computer, you know, a big mainframe computer that your compute power on your phone now is more compute power than on that IBM 360. Although I didn't worship that sucker. Sure, it's just a job, you know.
Yeah.
So,
another thing that the tech priests do is they believe that the flesh is weak, and so they seek to enhance themselves at every opportunity. And the more enhancements they get, the higher ranking they are. Until you get the highest ranking ones are basically these large, massive cyborgs that are extremely powerful.
So Badman says he thought old tech was or is sacred relics. Is that what kind of the way they treat them, Lee?
Yes, basically. A lot of the highly advanced stuff, like really powerful communication systems and things, are fully under the control of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Nobody else is allowed to use them. You have to have one of their tech priests on hand to operate it for you. That kind of thing.
That'd be like an IT specialist today, wouldn't it?
Basically.
Except you wouldn't worship the IT.
Yeah. In this case, though, they have special privileges and ranks and such like that, and they hold a very special place within Imperium society.
Ah. Okay, well, the black line couriers, in other words, kids that can run messages from point A to point B so fast that drones can't catch them or track them. You know, or maybe technology can't track them because they kind of, you know, kids, they run back and forth through stuff and get in areas and stuff like that, and they can deliver secret messages. It's kind of the way I thought of that one, you know.
So maybe they have special equipment or special tricks they have to evade detection by them.
Yeah, and to answer Badman's, yeah, that's a typo, Badman. That's Underworld. So Creek did a typo on that. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah.
Well, you can see in the image there, it says the groups that shape the Underworld. So
yeah.
So yeah, not Cinder World, whatever that would be. Well, some other examples that are not listed here, like now Hugo, I wouldn't consider jackers like a autonomous group, but there's there are, in addition to Hugo's team, there are these people that do jack cyborgs in Iron City for various reasons. Now in Hugo's case, it would be to get parts for Vector, for his motorball competitors, paladins, but you'll have other, jackers that jack, cyborgs for different reasons, maybe some to get parts onto the black market or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in a way you could consider them a group. I guess, they're all jackers, now they're
probably a very loosely organized group that are all probably only aligned because they're all after the same thing, basically, but they probably stay away from each other because each one probably has a turf or a territory that they hunt on.
Exactly.
So they try not to step on each other's toes because then that's just bad for business.
Well, I think you could consider hunter warriors. You could definitely consider them a group, I think.
Well, I'm not sure if they would shape the underworld, unless you're talking about the criminal underworld, not like the physical underworld.
Yeah, not the physical underworld, yeah.
So, and yeah, they would, with the movements they make and how they track people and who they take down, having an effect on what power vacuums might appear and people moving up and all that.
Yeah. So anyway, that I guess in the physical underworld, that would be where Grishka was for most of his life, I guess.
Oh, the factory probably has an effect on the underworld as well, because you've got people like Vector, for instance.
Yeah.
He actually ran a black market. That's very much a criminal underworld endeavor.
Guess who just showed up, boys?
Oh, hey.
Hey, Ox King.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Same old, nothing different.
What you been up to?
Just just a lot of shit, man. Same old though, more or less.
Well, it sure is good to hear your voice, man. You kind of wondered how you were doing.
Yeah, same for you guys. I've been wanting to come, but we work for weeks straight sometimes. So
yeah, Are you still in the Army, or are you?
Oh yeah, I haven't left. I'm staying. I'm trying to stay for forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how's the wife and kid, man?
They're about to go see the Minecraft movie. They're fucking playing it on base for free.
So,
nice.
We're gonna go watch that.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So what
Yeah,
about
for
you
those-
guys? What's the topic of discussion for today?
Well, basically, we're talking about, some of the, legends and lore and stuff like that might, and of course, the Creek went harebrained on some of this stuff, but, might be, what you would come up with in Iron City, like, for instance, every society will have some kind of legends or some kind of folklore or something like that. Well, we're just trying to figure out, what would that be like in Iron City, so.
Come up with some examples of what that might look like. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Chaos, you were going to say?
Yeah, talking about urban legends as well.
Yeah, urban legends. Yeah, well, that's the next bullet, or urban folklore, actually. So,
Okay.
yeah,
Goodbye,
that's
See what you guys got.
yeah. We kind of did this one first. That one right there. There were the legends. We just talked about. Like, then a couple that are not up there. Of course, we said with Joshagon. I think Alita would be a legend as well. Particularly as time goes on. She becomes, in the, I guess in the last order, she is way OP, and then she fights in the Zot, for everybody on Earth, so, she would become a legend, I think, there in that case.
Especially considering how heavily televised it was.
Yes.
She was already a motorball legend too,
Yeah, she was a motorball legend.
Right.
That's right. So,
And there was also the legend of her being the angel of death in the Badlands
that's
during
right.
her time in the Tuned.
Yeah, I love that arc. I love her when she meets Figure 4, and he's kind of thinking with the other head, if you know what I mean. He's kind of
not put off by the fact that she's the angel of death, and every word you say to her, you take a year off your life or something like that. Is
he sees this cute girl and he says, "I'm gonna go hit on her." That's a bad idea.
I've got the clip from the video game. I'll put a link to it.
Yeah, she puts her finger in the center of his head and said, "People around me tend to get dead, Mr. 4. That's a really funny scene right there. So, but he's Figure 4 wasn't the brightest bulb in the bunch, as they would say. So he is my favorite, one of my favorite characters, though, that's for sure. He is definitely cool. Yeah. How dare you walk out on our fight, Alita? This is after she stomped the shit out of him in the desert. He kept getting up, and I remember she said, "What is wrong with this guy?"
Yeah, as I recall, she didn't walk out on his fight. She walked out on his nap.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, he I guess that made an impression on her, though. She saw somebody that had the same kind of persistence she did and determination, so. And he did make a mark on her life too, didn't he? Mm-hmm. She rediscovered her humanity for sure, So yeah, that's really a funny arc or funny scene, I guess, or set of panels. Boy, she beat the crap out of him. They're really funny.
Yeah, so these things that I captured from Martian memory aren't well seen. I might want to advertise them or something because they're hardly seen, but it's cool seeing it in a video game form.
Yeah. So can you think of any other factions there, Lee or Chaos or Ox King?
There's the God, for crying out loud, why am I blanking on it? The drugs would be involved. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Probably like drug cartels. I mean, cartel seems like a very large organization to be in a city.
Yeah.
But maybe the gangs, the various gangs that might be involved in the drug trade. There's probably also a slave trade. I mean, I could almost guarantee you that.
Yeah. And I kind of wonder if there's kind of like guilds, maybe some of the businesses or something. Maybe they form.
Well, after a few hundred years, they probably have grown to the point where, in order to avoid costly wars between each other, they probably do have some sort of like maybe a guild type structure that might help keep the peace and keep the territory sort of defined.
Oh,
Private Chat's got some stuff in it.
Yeah, Chaos has got some kids, I guess he's got to take care of. So.
But he put something in the private chat for you to take a look at, Creek.
Oh, did he? Oh, yeah, he did. Oh, yeah, he did. Okay, so let me I'll put these things in the public chat. Dan, are you working on any videos or anything? Or are you...
Oh, yeah, I'm still working on that video. I thought I finished with the Alita section, and now I'm going to add about 2-3 more minutes to it. So I've already written that and recorded that earlier today. And it talks about some of this stuff here, you know, with her being the angel of death and stuff like that. But I think I hit on some pretty unique points in it. So I don't know. Y'all may or may not like it, but it's
I don't know.
3 characters, Revi, Alita, and Alice. And just basically talks about their similarities and things like that. More without giving away too much. I mean, you've already seen some of it, so
Yeah. I know. I mean, I like Revi's character. She's a little bit. I don't want to use a B word.
I mean, that's pretty much what she is.
Yeah.
But see, all of these characters come off like that at certain points, and there's reasons why, right?
But
so
she
Alita wasn't very nice in the Badlands.
No, she was not. That's right.
She was.
Until she met Figure 4 anyway.
Yeah, she was a killer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was the opposite. So I mean, that it goes into that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And their character arcs and things like that. So.
Well, Revi, to me, she's bitchy, but that kind of makes her in some weird way, to me, attractive. You know, I don't know. maybe that's my problem.
Yeah, some guys like girls that'll bully them, you know.
Yeah. So you know, I guess that's what that is. I don't know. I don't want to be bullied, but you know what I'm saying.
There's just a lot. I think so. The Alita section took me the longest because I'm talking specifically about the manga. Because I mean, the movie and the anime don't go into any of the character development that the manga goes into. Right? There really is none of that present. So like even when we're talking about the beginning of the manga, the movie doesn't really have a lot of these themes present in it. Some of that stuff was taken out of it. So I have to talk only about the manga. Because of that, I'm showing manga panels on screen.
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be boring. So I go and I color the manga panels and I make them move and stuff like that. And so that took extremely fucking long. The Alita section just took forever.
Well, the way you animate it too is really that's kind of a time-consuming thing, isn't it? I mean, yeah. It
took the absolute longest, but it was fun. So I got through the Revi section. I'm going to refine some things there. I got through the Alita section, but I'm adding a couple more minutes onto it. Like I said, just recorded that today. And the Alice section is almost completely done. And I got my outro, and that's it. And honestly, I think that when it's all said and done, maybe people might choose Alice as the best of the 3. So we'll see. Maybe at least the most underrated.
Well, AKA says he likes feisty women. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, that's basically all of these characters, and that's part of what made me put all 3 of them together. You know what I mean? As one, because I wanted to make a video on all of them, because in some ways they're all underrated characters. You know, they're not out there in the mass mainstream, especially like with Alita, right? Everyone knows about the film version, but not everyone. Most people haven't read the manga. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about, you know, hey, look, this character is actually way deeper than what you just saw. You know what I mean? Or like Black Lagoon, you know, Revi is like this on the outside. The show's like this on the outside, but actually the show is a pretty deep character study. Or like nobody's even heard of the Alice fucking game, or if they have, they haven't played it. You know what I mean? And I want to show what that has to offer as well.
Well, I know Ox King, you'll post something. You'll put a real hot looking anime combat girl on there, and I'll put a heart on it and say I love her.
Maybe one of these days you gotta watch Black Lagoon. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's pretty good, like 24 episodes, so not long. God damn.
So anyway, guys, can y'all think of any more factions? I think we're a little bit light on this slide. Any more that shape the Cinder world? The Creek's typo.
Yeah, nothing I can think of myself.
Okay, well, let's move on to this. Now, here's the folklore, you know. Now, these are kind of weird examples I just come up with off the top of my head, but you know, there'll be like rules that are maybe so old. Yeah, like for instance, like what might be an example: don't step on the blue tiles. Okay, nobody knows why that's a rule, but they still avoid them. So there may be some stuff. I don't know how many blue tiles would be in Iron City, but it would be a rule similar to like that. Now that second bullet is more meaningful, I think, in the Alita world. You know, if a hunter warrior looks at you twice, run. You know, now I'm not sure you're going to outrun them. You know, I mean, if Zapan is after you, your ass is done. You know? And particularly if Alita is after you, you're not getting away no matter what. The only hope you would have with her is that you would appeal to her having mercy on you. You know, and depending on what you did, you're not going to get that mercy. You might get it if you know, like in Lee's story, it was that kid. What was his name, Lee? That he was trying to jack Jason and
Merrick.
Merrick, that's right. And you know, of course, Jason, you know, kind of took pity on him, and then you know, Alita, you know, kind of thought, and now correct me if I'm wrong, Lee. Why are you protecting this guy? You know, he's not a criminal or whatever they'd call him. And then when she found out he had a wife and a kid, she kind of softened up, didn't she?
Well, she was more curious as to what it was that Jason wanted to accomplish with this. It's like Jason, well, didn't want to let a jacker go and potentially do to somebody else what they tried to do to him.
Yeah.
Because that could get somebody hurt. So he just wanted to make sure this guy was telling the truth. He had a family he was desperate to provide for. And when he found out about it, he would introduce himself, apologize for the interruption, and leave.
Yeah, and he lost his job at the factory too, didn't he? When that did, or
because he refused, or either he refused or wasn't able, or a combination of the two, to get the upgrades to stay competitive at the factory job.
Yeah.
The factory let him go for somebody else who was either willing to or already had gotten the upgrades they were looking for.
Why would you run just because the hunter warrior looks at you twice? Just makes you look guilty. Well,
maybe because when they look at you twice, they think you're guilty.
Some of these hunter warriors don't necessarily leave you alive in a very short period of time.
Yeah. Yeah, you told
me.
They
don't exactly have the kind of rules that police have.
Yeah, they don't have. Well, they don't have any of the rules hardly that police have.
Yep.
You know, they don't know what the damn Miranda. You know, Miranda.
Yeah, there are no Miranda rights.
No, AKA. It's called "She's Gonna Smack You Right in the Face."
What's this?
Doesn't like her real name.
Well, depending on what the memory is, I think.
Yeah.
She might smack you in the face for sure, you know. So anyway, you know, never trust a clean coat. And I don't, you know, I came up with that, you know.
Not to mention a something that's too clean might imply that it's been stolen recently or something.
Yeah, or it might be that person,
the owner might come looking for it if it's like a really fancy item.
Yeah. Or the person that has it, maybe there's something about them that, you know, in that society that having a clean coat maybe infers that they're maybe underhanded, or, you know, they're a con man, or who knows what, you know. So maybe that's it, you know. So especially if it smells like flan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, if you had a coat that had flan on it and you could smell it, I'm not sure what that means, but I guess Nova might think you're okay. Any other examples you can think of? Like, these are just my harebrained ideas, examples. Because
no, I'm trying to think of some. There was some of the old myths we had, like walking under a ladder was bad luck.
Yeah.
You know, looking at it more closely, you can see why that would probably be bad luck. If somebody's working on the ladder, they could drop something on you.
Yeah.
That don't step on a crack, break your mother's back sort of thing. That was a childhood sort of thing. Yeah,
it's not like Iron City has a You know,
Wait,
list.
yeah, John. Oh, sorry, I just had a little cough there.
That's all right.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, he had an internet drop probably.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
Nah, it's okay.
Yeah, it's not like Iron City is going to have a list of statutes that they have to comply with, is it?
Yeah. But there might be old myths or things left over from the plagues that maybe sort of turned into sort of a traditional way of thinking that people still stick to, even though the need for it is long gone.
Boy, that's a combination of things there, bad man.
Walking under a ladder, trying to avoid a black cat while a mirror falls on you and breaks.
Yeah, that's right. So
maybe that one or something. I don't know.
Have red streaks across their cheeks. It's probably a safe neighborhood. Yeah. Maybe the parents are rough on them. Huh?
No, red streaks as in, under their eyes.
Oh, like yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
So you might have a bunch of people trying to emulate Alita.
Yeah, because Iron City. Now, I would say there probably are some remnants of maybe laws, even from the old United States, that still people know. Because remember, Ito told Alita that they don't have any police, that the factory pays them to do the dirty work. So he does know what police are.
That might be a remnant of his Zalem education, however.
Yeah, too. That's right. Yeah. So he does know about that. So maybe some knowledge of some of those maybe more prevalent laws from 500 years ago. I mean, we know what the Magna Carta is now. Now we don't know the specifics of it, but we do know the Magna Carta is something, right? So I mean, so
we have to read more though.
Yeah. Plus, I'm not sure if you read the Magna Carta, if you could understand it, because the English is so old.
Well, I mean, it's the basics of where they legally established the parliament. Yeah,
that's right. So whenever a hunter warrior, you get on one of those kiosks, you've had to have done something bad, but the system is so corrupt, that you might have hunter warriors that are constantly framing people just to make money.
Yeah.
So,
also define bad. If you damage factory property, that's punishable by death.
Yep.
But how much do you have to damage it?
No, there's this messed up video game where one of the guys who you're trying to reform, he starts fires and he puts them out to make it look like he's a hero.
Okay.
But yeah, if you're driving a cab or something like that and you end up hitting one of the factory cargo haulers, would that be enough to get you a death sentence?
I don't know. I mean, it depends on the nature of it, I guess. If they thought it was truly an accident, I don't know, they might give you some consideration.
Well, that's the other thing too. Would the automated system care if it was an accident?
The street, they refuse to just not help you if you don't want them to.
Yeah, I think the rules in Iron City are so loose,
Yeah.
That a hunter warrior could interpret anything as.
Well, the hunter warrior isn't the one interpreting it, though. The hunter warrior hunts the bounty mark. Whoever's putting the bounty mark on them, they can decide whether or not you've broken the law.
That's true. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, that whole thing about like in Judge Dredd, the judges are judge, jury, and executioner. Well, the hunter warriors in the Alitaverse are basically just the executioner. Yeah. They don't decide your guilt or not. They just look for the bounty marker. If there is one, they hunt it down. So you've got some other entity somewhere that's probably an automated system that's deciding the innocence or guilt of these people.
Couldn't it be the GIB or maybe?
No, the GIB I think was created specifically for the tuned program, primarily at least.
Okay.
I can't recall exactly, but I don't think they had anything to do with that. That was primarily a factory authority that was dealing with all of that.
It might be somebody on Vector's staff, I guess, that maybe does that as well.
Somebody in Vector staff might have had something to do with it, but from what I remember, it was actually a system that was of the factory itself.
It'd probably be something like some citizen, not that they have citizens, but somebody living in Iron City maybe witnesses something, or even the hunter warrior, alleges that somebody does something, they notify whatever the authority is, whoever that is, and then that gets them on the kiosk, and then of course the hunter warriors can frame people doing that, kind of like he framed Hugo, they can do that shit, so it's a really corrupt system. So
well, there's got to be some sort of oversight on it, otherwise it would be easily enough abused that you get some of these hunter warriors walking around with a lot more cash on them than what they apparently had.
Yeah.
I mean, many of them were, the really successful ones were apparently doing very well for themselves, but that was mostly due, at least from what we saw, it was mostly due to their skill in taking down highly dangerous, high-value marks.
Yeah.
And if they could just play the system like that, like you were talking about, which they probably do on occasion, they probably would have been far wealthier, and it probably been more of them that were wealthier than they were. Oh yeah, the GIB was created solely to retrieve Professor Nova from the surface.
Yeah, they wouldn't care about anything else, I guess. Even if they were made aware of a murder or something, they wouldn't give a shit because they just want to. Because
they already have the system in place with the factory enforcement.
Yeah. Well, they do have a system in Iron City, but it's not a good one. It's really corrupt, but they do have one that
from indications in the novelization as well, the system was primarily automated. Basically, they had a set of parameters that were followed. Go outside of those parameters and you're guilty.
Well, for instance, like the Centurions, if something is flying,
yes,
they shoot it down no matter what it is.
Yeah, supposedly there was a minimum altitude under which you would be safe, but apparently that didn't always hold. Occasionally you had a Centurion here and there that would decide that it was actually too high, regardless of being under the minimum or the specific altitude.
Yeah.
Because you get even automated systems having little glitches and things like that, and you get something that's not hitting right.
Yeah. I like that second bullet though. If a hunter warrior looks at you twice, run. I don't know what good running is going to do you.
Well, if you got a good pair of legs on you, it might do some good. Better than standing still, anyway.
Well, you consider though, like if you're running from Zapan or Alita for that matter, your legs are going to wear out long before theirs will. So I mean, they can just keep running after you, run after you. They could probably run after you indefinitely. How long can a human being run? A meat boy or a meat girl?
Well, that's actually another possible underworld faction. Are people smugglers? Somebody's wanted by the law, and they've got enough money they can pay somebody to smuggle them out of the city.
In Martian Memory, they wanted some of the street jocks were killing people under the city.
Oh, okay.
That's a plot in the video game, anyways.
Yeah, I could see it.
Yeah. Anyway, anybody think of any other possible folk stories that might float around in Iron City that you could think of? These are just ones I came up with.
Yeah, I'm afraid I can't come up with much.
I know one thing with Alita. In her neighborhood, once she got known, I would think that perps would not want to commit any kind of atrocities.
Well, they'd certainly be stepping a lot more lightly, I would think.
Yeah, that's right. So that would be kind of, I guess you could consider that like folklore. Don't screw around in Alita's turf or you're dead.
Yeah.
Something
Watch
like
your step
that.
in Alita's neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. We got Ox King on board there, Angelus.
Is he coming on too?
Well, he's at work, so he can't come on. So
unfortunately, they got him on the clock.
Yeah, he got
I thought he was the co-host. How come we only broadcast when he's at work now?
Well, he is a co-host, but he couldn't make it today. So
Sometimes he can.
We're kind of a loose organization there, Ox King. We're not really, you know. I think he's going to be the host tomorrow, though, because Maxie's got COVID. So.
Damn.
Yeah.
A few years too late on that one.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, 6 years. I think he'll be okay, though. I mean, he's taking the antivirals drugs, and he does his vaccine, so I think he'll be okay.
I'm pretty sure I got COVID in basic training.
Huh?
I'm pretty sure I got COVID in basic training. Like, everybody was sick all the fucking time. Like, that's just like a fact of basic training. Like, we were coughing up fucking blood and shit. I swear somebody had like fucking tuberculosis or some shit. But anyway, I lost my sense of smell and taste for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But it was beneficial to me because what do 53 guys in a fucking sleeping in a bay together do?
Yeah.
They fart.
Yeah.
They fart. So we someone decided that they were gonna fart on my fucking bunk, and me being an older guy, have already been through this shit before, so I already know the tactics of fart wars. I know how to manipulate my body to make the use out of my weapons. So this 19-year-old didn't know what he was in for, and also didn't realize I had caught COVID and lost my sense of smell. So yeah. He got absolutely fucking cooked. He actually called for a truce.
Yeah.
He called for a truce because he couldn't fucking handle it.
Gassed him good.
Yeah. Don't fuck with the old guy, man, because the old guy's been through this before.
You could say that about me, Dan.
Yeah, you're a little bit older than me.
A little bit, I think so.
But for basic training, I was the old guy, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been pretty lucky. I've never gotten COVID. I mean, I've had like 12 shots. You know, I don't want to get that shit. You know, but every time I have a sniffly nose or something like that, boy, I take that COVID test just to make sure. You know, and it's been negative every time. So
these days it's not so bad.
It's not as bad as it was in like 2020. It was.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's more or less just like the rest of the coronavirus is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just you lose your sense of smell, which can be a good thing or a bad thing depending on whether or not you're in basic training with 53 other guys. You know.
Yeah, I'm an 8,000-year-old cosplaying powerlifter.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh God, this is good. AKA the older the man, the deadlier the farts. I don't know.
Oh yeah, because we know how to manipulate that shit. Trust me. I'm lactose intolerant. I get gassy when I eat carrots, and then eating a high protein diets. Okay, fine. I'll do all three of that shit. Drink some caffeine, and you're cooked.
Holy shit! Oh, that's good. Yeah, I eat a high protein diet myself. You know, so. Luckily, I don't have that problem so much, you know. Yeah, if you eat a lot of protein, you're definitely you're gonna be a little gassy at times, I think.
Protein farts.
Yeah, that's right. So
yeah.
So we're talking about Alita, not farts.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
He's dodged COVID for 6 years, and now he finally got it. Yeah, my strength coach got COVID back in 2020, and he 2020 2021, somewhere back in there, he got it. And this before they were able to, they didn't have the vaccines. They it was kind of this is back in the day when a lot of people were dying from it, and he got it. He said he thought he was going to die. He felt so bad, and he got better though. So anyway,
yeah, luckily it's not like that no more,
I don't know.
Man, Maxie says, glad to see you're doing well there, Ox King.
Oh yeah, you too, man. Good
all right,
to
guys,
talk
we
to
kind of
y'all
got off subject there. All right, that's okay. Anything else? Any possible folklore you guys might think of? Because we can start.
I'm afraid I'm struggling to just come up with any. Given enough time, I probably could.
In Iron City, I don't know what you guys have covered already, but I know there's a lot of folklore. I mean, and some of it's actually true. Like fucking, they got werewolves and shit like that, and fucking vampires.
Yeah, but they aren't werewolves. They're on steroids. Come,
and fucking vampires and shit. Like they got all that shit. So,
Yeah, Karula would be somebody I'd go for.
Cerula, I believe it's Cerula because it's the word for blue.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, I guess we kind of hit this guy hard enough right now, talking about the various legends. A lot of this stuff would be. Remember, now this is after an apocalyptic war, so a lot of these things are going to come to be handed down by stories, verbal, almost like we did many thousands of years ago when people were not living in houses; they were living in caves and shit.
Yeah.
So,
not to mention the state of the education system.
Yes.
If you want to call it that. In Iron City is probably left quite a few people illiterate. So you got a lot of people passing things on by word of mouth and all that.
Well, there's a scene in the novelization where they are driving out to the ship and they talk about, the education system, I guess, Alita, Tanji and them. And Tanji believed that, there was only one big landmass, I think.
Yeah.
Like
he was a flat earther, basically.
Yeah. And Koyomi got on him, that might be so stupid or something. It was kind of a neat little scene, so I like Koyomi. So anyway.
Yeah. Well, Koyomi was scared of those mole people. Of course, their friend being blind didn't care how hideous they appear.
Yeah. That was from Mutations too, wasn't it, Chaos?
Yes, they are mutants. They're kind of like I don't want to sound offensive, but they're like the new indigenous people on the North American continent at this point.
In terms of the way people treat them, right?
Yeah. Well, and just the fact that they have this long history of being there in that Rocky Mountain area. Obviously, Chaos doesn't care because he's blind, so he doesn't see how they look.
Yeah. Angelus asked Dan or Ox King, have you ever seen the Rosa video? The one where she cameoed?
Probably not.
I'll show it to you. It's very short. Here it is. Oh,
screen it.
There we go.
Hi, Normie. I wore this for you.
Oh,
sci-fi fantasy.
Hey.
Thank you.
Cool.
Welcome, Rosa. Thank you so much. We love you so much.
Love you.
We do, Rosa. Tell her we all love her there, Blods. That's it, Ox King.
Okay.
Yeah. Just a short appearance in the stream.
Yeah.
I have the whole presentation on mutants if you're ever interested. Just let me know.
Okay.
Oh, you hadn't seen that video before, Ox King?
No, I hadn't seen that.
I made a one about all the mutant characters in Battle Angel Alita. It's kind of interesting. I'm going to make a better version of it because I realized I could get better audio than what I have now. And this is not how I normally sound either.
Well, you got a cold or something?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
But I could say I just don't care.
Well, it's cool. We don't care on this stream either.
It's not like I can send you a virus through the internet, I guess.
I don't know. We could get
COVID too.
Computer virus.
I don't think it's COVID.
Yeah.
I just think it's that I get a cold so infrequently. I just don't care anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky in that regard myself. I don't get sick very often. I'm pretty lucky there. So anyway,
I got RSV a couple months ago. That shit was fucking horrible.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that shit actually fucking sucked. My best because my kid had got it and he gave it to the rest of the house. And holy shit, I was coughing for I'm still fucking hacking shit up. It's crazy. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's another one I'm glad I didn't get.
Yeah, that one's bad. That's horrible. It's not the worst I've had. The worst respiratory virus I've ever had would either be bronchitis or the flu. I thought I was going to die.
Actually, the worst thing was how I somehow got tuberculosis when I was still living in the Midwest. It was really weird.
That is
I'm
weird.
not sure. I'm not sure there's that
crazy.
much tuberculosis left. But yeah,
a lot of politically incorrect jokes I
yeah.
could make, but I'm gonna not do that.
I don't care.
But yeah, like yeah, there's a lot of shit out there you can fucking catch. Thank God we don't have any of that shit right now.
Yeah.
Well,
exactly.
I mean, antibiotics for a lot of it, antibiotics would take care of it, like TB.
Yeah.
Yeah, antiviral too will take care of a lot of things. So, all right. Well, anyway, we got off topic again, which is all right. So, anything else you guys you can think of?
No, off the top of my head, I'm afraid.
Did we miss anything?
I think Den and I are the ones who missed a lot
Oh.
out of this whole stream.
Yeah, I showed up late.
Oh, go ahead, Dan. Ox King.
No, I'm just saying. I showed up a little late.
Oh, that's all right.
I'll try playing more Gun of Martian Memory and Enter the Matrix in a little bit, so that should be fun.
You gonna make a video out of it, Chaos?
Yeah.
All right.
I have the clips, and I'm gonna just run Google ads on them, just so because I guess it's somehow the algorithm doesn't favor showing video game clips from a 1998 video game. Don't ask me why.
Okay. All right. Well, we didn't miss anything, I don't think. And as you can see from that center panel there, Alita does love her Uncle Creek, and that is because he wants a sequel just like she does. We want 8 sequels. That's what we really want. But if you've got a problem with her loving her Uncle Creek, you can take it up with her and face that plasma weapon she has. So, that wouldn't be a good thing for you. And I guess Angelus or Maxie's not on, so I guess I got to talk about it. And I don't know much about it because there's no show notes yet. Not that a lot of this would not be in the show notes anyway. So, we'll give Angelus a little bit of a break. But anyway, what we're going to talk about on Radio Chaos tomorrow is, will Alita make it up to Zalem in the sequel? Will she make it? I personally, now I'm not going to go too deep here because we're going to talk about this later. I don't think it'll be till the end of the 3rd Alita movie before they even think about sending her up to Zalem. But we'll see. We don't know how they write. They can write the Alita movies any way they want. They've been pretty good about staying faithful to the manga and the anime. They've been pretty good about that. But if they do stay totally faithful to it, of course, it's going to be later on. It's not going to be during, say, the Badlands, or in this case, Alita 2 would be the Zerkerpan and the Motorball arc. So, so she wouldn't make it to Zalem there, but we'll see. We will see. So join us tomorrow for that. It promises to be a lot of fun. And there's our Queen Rosa right there. And of course, she is #1 in the Creeks book in terms of being an actor. She's a really, really super. We are really fortunate that Robert Rodriguez picked her to portray Alita. And our queen she's a really pretty lady too. So we're lucky in that regard too. And I want to give shout outs to Ella Lamont and Jesse Fisher, and they're pretty ladies as well. But, they brought Screwhead to life. And what I want to see is, as you guys hear me say this every week, but what I want to see is Alita and Screwhead team up, and take on Joshagon, and it might be that, because Screwhead can play Motorball, because you remember she was in that murder ball game. So anyway, she knows how to play Motorball, so, and of course, it'd be kind of neat for them to team up. It'd be like Elle said in that, when we interviewed her about 3 years ago, I guess it was, she's, Screwhead approaches Alita and says, hey girl, she's pissed, that Vector has kind of used her and kind of, conned her and stuff like that. And she goes to Alita and says, hey girl, I'm with you. Let's just burn it all down. Which is, I love that shit, and, Elle's really good in my book too. I think she's great. But anyway, I want to see all 3 of them in the sequel, because they deserve it. And of course, Jessie, Elle said Jessie is the most badass stunt woman she ever worked with. So, that's high praise right there. So, anyway, we want them all. We love all 3 of these ladies, and we wish them well. Now, if you want to, kind of talk, yes, Angelus, ooh, that's for sure. Yeah, we knew that ooh was going to come up at some point, didn't we, Lee?
Hmm.
So anyway, if you want to join us for the Stammtisch after party, there's the link right there. Click on it. I'll bring you in. I won't bring you in until after we get through playing the outro, so you won't be in the stream if you're worried about people seeing you. We don't have a lot of folks in the chat, but folks do see. I do get some pretty good views after the stream is over because most of my subscribers are in Asia, so they're all asleep. So anyway, but yeah, there's the link. Click on it. You'll be in backstage for a while, and you can come on and talk to us. We don't bite unless you ask us to, and then we won't bite very hard. So anyway, we have fun with this. A lot of times we just show videos. We chat amongst ourselves. And it's just like a Zoom call, really. I mean, you come in here with us and talk to us, and we won't make fun of your English if that's what you're worried about. Particularly you Aussies, we won't make fun of your English either. But just come and join us and have a little bit of a chat with us. We are the Alita Army. We support Alita and Rosa passionately and positively. And we are here to stay, and we're going to keep doing what we're doing. And even when Disney greenlights the sequel, we're still going to keep doing this. I intend to do this until whenever. I'll be maybe in a walker or something when I'm 165 years old, but I'll still be doing this shit, because I love it. I love the character. I love the IP, and it's really good, and I certainly I love Rosa to death as an actor. She's really super duper, and of course she did a great job on Alita. And if Maxie was here, he would say, "Gary, you're starting to wax lyrical again."
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, okay. But anyway, we want that sequel, Disney. So give it to us.
Well, don't give out until you've met the real chaos. Okay.
That's right. That's right. Why is this image here? Well, that image is there because I like it and I'm running the stream. And to paraphrase Gruishka, I'm only here for our girl and our queen and the Alita Army. And of course, all of us in the Alita Army are here for our queen and our girl. And that only leaves us with one thing left to do, and that would be, on my count of three, the call to action. 1, 2, 3.
Film those sequels, baby.
So, okay, we will see you tomorrow on Radio Chaos, and we'll see you next week on Alita Livestream, in which Lee is going to read another chapter of his fanfic.
Yep.
Bye.
Yep. Take care, guys.
What's up, Alita Army? This is Hot Toys Alita, and I hope you enjoyed this week's Alita Livestream. Please join my Uncle Creek, Angelus, and our other guests for next week's show. Remember, I do not stand by in the presence of evil, and film those sequels, baby. See you next time.
No cause is lost, if there was but one fool left to fight for it.
Yeah, Gary, that'd be nice.